Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reiki Healing Circle. It is such an honor to share this hour and this practice with you. I am so excited to hand the mic over to my dear friend Sally Carmichael today. She is an amazing Reiki practitioner, and a little bit about Sally. Sally is a spiritual guide, mentor, Reiki teacher, master, intuitive, and podcaster. She believes that the way to freedom is by intentionally living our spirituality in our own unique way each day. By loving ourselves deeply first, we can give more from our wild hearts. And the world needs the gifts of our wild hearts. It really does. So welcome, Sally. Thank you so much for guiding us into this practice today. And I want to pass it over to you, and maybe you can share a little bit about what we're going to get into. And yeah, really looking forward to being here with you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me. And to people watching afterwards, hi. Cool. So I really love wisdom. I think we all love wisdom, don't we? So I think that wisdom is something that maybe is really part of the system of Reiki. Inherently, even if it's not written in some way. Um, so I want to, I'd like to take us through a few practices that I like to do revolving around the subject of wisdom. I think wisdom is really important to talk about in our modern world because I don't know, I feel like we don't really always make it a subject to talk about, but it's really important. Really important, you know. So let's do some practices. But so what we'll do first uh, is a bit of Josh and Kokyo, um, which is what we always do. But I just want to talk about that a little bit and why I think it's important. Um, and then we've got a practice called the Temple of Your Wisest Self, um, which is a guided meditation. So what we'll do is we'll start with the Joshin Kokyo Hado meditation, and then we'll move into the guided meditation. And then after that, if we want to, we can have a little debrief and see what comes up. Cool. So yeah, firstly, I'd like to do a little land acknowledgement as well. Christine, you were talking about visiting um, an important Indigenous space near you. So yeah, I'd like to just acknowledge that I'm on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people here in Melbourne, also known as Naarm, and that this land was never ceded. Um, and I'd like to acknowledge the spirit of the Wurundjeri people in the face of colonization and the resilience and their connection to the land that just goes back tens of thousands of years. And it's something that I won't be able to understand in my lifetime. Yeah, I just, I hope that with my own life, I can maybe try and help rebalance things a little to help as people. And yeah, I'd like to acknowledge, together, just acknowledge, the lands that we're on as well. So, um, yeah. So I just quickly, I don't want to talk too much, but yeah, I think that Reiki is. We're so lucky to have it, aren't we? We're just so lucky. There's a lot of practices around, but Reiki is really good, I think, for this modern world because it can help us like come back to ourselves, this essence, really quickly. And to bring us to a place that you might only achieve, through lots of meditation, just to bring us back to that state really quickly. And I think that's really, really important. But then comes the practice. So, we can have this great experience by doing the Reiki training and all that. But then we have to practice. But in that practice, I think is what lets us actually face into reality and the reality of like, how do we actually make peace in the world? How do we make peace when things are difficult? And so I think that's that's what's really important in doing just this so simple practice of Josh and Kokyo and just cultivating that hara. It's just, it's just life changing, isn't it? It's been really important for me in my own being trans and coming out in the world. That I actually really relied on connecting with my hara while I was being out in the world, and it really showed me how that energy that we are is so it just changes things, and it can help us be present even when things are difficult. So, okay, oh, that's enough talking. So I'm just going to light a candle because I like to light a candle. I feel like it's such a small act, but it feels like a really potent thing just to light a candle. All these small acts are so simple, but they change the whole universe. Because there's a lot of strife in the world at the moment, which is just a complete understatement. So, and as sensitive people, especially, I think we can get overwhelmed by that and not knowing what to do. So, come back to this practice. Let's do the practice. So, excuse me. Okay, so we want to be comfortable. I'm talking to experienced practitioners here, so I'll let you find your own space. But if you are new to the practice, you're watching on the video later, let's find a comfortable, active position. So it could be sitting down on a mat, on a cushion, or it could be sitting on a chair. You could do it lying down as long as we can make sure we don't fall asleep. Well, you might need some sleep. But to do this practice, you really want to be present. So, and if you physically can, it's good to be upright so we can be active in the practice. Even if we might need to use some cushions or something like that, just to keep the posture. Okay, so let's start by, I'll just invite you to bring the awareness into the body. You can let the eyes close down if you'd like. And just bringing the awareness into the feet to start with, to the toes, feeling the legs, feeling the feet touching the floor if they are, feeling the legs touching seat or whatever they're doing, and feeling the weight of the body, feeling into the weight of the body, and noticing any areas of tension that there might be, and just letting go of that tension as much as possible. You might want to roll the shoulders back if you can, just open up the chest a little. Oh. And just letting the muscles sink, thinking the word sink, just letting it sink. But then also bringing the spine up if we're seated, just bringing the spine up. And maybe just, if you can, just pulling the chin a little towards the throat, just to stretch the back of the neck. And then just sitting back in a kind of dynamic but relaxed posture. Cool, okay. Now let's take a few deep breaths. Just take some nice deep breaths, breathing into the diaphragm. And we just take a nice deep breath and just gather up any kind of tension or anything like that. Just sigh it out. Just let it out. And just one more, just gathering up any emotional stuff there might be, if there is any. Just nice full breath and just sigh. And just one more, just gathering up any thoughts we might be going around our head, any mental tension, and just sigh that out and just letting it go. And just focusing in on the forehead, just relaxing the temples, and the forehead, and the scalp. You can hold tension here, some of us, especially me. Relaxing the eyes and the eyelids. Relaxing the jaw and the cheeks. Okay. So we're going to go into the hara, this energy center, the lower dantian. It's down in the belly. Maybe it's 2 inches below the navel, or maybe we're a little different. Maybe we can feel it in a different spot even. But feeling into that center that connects us back into our ancestry, the source of life. And that source of our essential nature is what some believe. That's the center from where martial artists will draw their strength. So let's turn it on. Let's turn it on like a bulb, like a light bulb. Just imagine flicking that on to super high power, to the highest setting. Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's breathe into that center. So just starting by noticing the breath. Noticing the breath coming in through the nose. If you like, you could breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If that's comfortable, that's a really nice way to breathe. But just do what's comfortable. Noticing the breath coming in and breathing into the diaphragm. And noticing if the breath is a little in the chest at all, or it's down in the belly, the diaphragm. Just wanting to bring it down into the diaphragm as much as possible. Okay, so I'm just now imagining that we're on the in-breath, breathing in the energy that's all around us. Breathing that energy into the hara. And then breathing that energy out through the body in every direction, out through the skin, into the room. The in-breath, breathing into the hara, breathing the energy in, charging it like a battery, and then breathing it out. And if the mind gets distracted, it's okay. It's normal for the mind to get distracted. The thing we want to do is just notice when the mind gets distracted, that it is distracted, and then bring it back to breathing into the hara, breathing out that energy. So let's do those breaths. You might like to start to expand that energy out a little further with each breath. If you haven't been already, just expanding it on each breath into a wider and wider sphere, an ever-expanding sphere, filling the room, expanding beyond into the area around, to the land, to space, and the cosmos. Bigger and bigger. Always bringing that awareness back. Breathing into the hara, breathing energy out into the universe in every direction. Shift the perception a little now. We might just do a little countdown to take us even deeper into ourselves. So I'm just going to count from 20 to 1 to take us deeper and deeper. Go on a little journey. So 20, 19, 18, going deeper into the self. 17, 16, 15, 14, deeper and deeper. 13, 12, 11, 10, still going deeper, more relaxed on each count. 9, 8, 7, deeper and deeper. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're a little bit deeper than before. And now that we're here, why don't we imagine that we are in nature? Maybe we're already in a place of nature, so we could be there, but we might be somewhere else that feels right. Could be in the forest, near a stream, it could be near the ocean, a place that calls us the most, the place that makes our hearts sing. Could be near a special tree. Imagining that space. Maybe it's a warm evening. Maybe it's the morning, whatever feels really good. And maybe we've got bare feet standing on the ground, feeling the air, breeze, and taking in the details around the bark on the trees, the grass, the insects, the sunlight or the moonlight. The leaves, the sounds. What can we hear? This place. It's such a deep stillness here. It's such a presence. It's just so sacred and beautiful. What can we smell? Just taking in that space. It's wonderful space. Maybe walking through, exploring, finding cool rocks, moss, or whatever's there, driftwood. As though we're in the heart of nature right here. The beating heart of nature. And being here, noticing that there is a pathway here the pathway is heading off away from here. It feels inviting to walk along a pathway. Where does the pathway lead? It looks well trodden. Maybe there's some adornments that people have left, or that you've left along the way. So following that path, maybe there's a bridge. Where does it lead? Leading off into the distance. A nice walk away. Or a roll of the wheelchair. Leading off into the distance, and in the distance is a building. There's a building there. A place, at least, because it could be made out of the earth, it could be constructed, it could be all sorts of things. But this place, you know, has a familiarity to it. And get closer and closer to this place, and it feels so compelling. So compelling. Something really, really right here. It's the temple of our wisest self. We're coming up to this temple, place of wisdom for the world, for us. And as we come towards the temple, we're greeted by ourself, our wisest self. This is our wisest self. Maybe they already look like us. Maybe they look a little different, I'm not sure. But it's so beautiful to see this us greet us. And they invite us inside the temple. We follow inside this temple. And inside there are many doors. And there are several levels with many doors also. You can see this because there's an open atrium. It's all open in there. And there's such a feeling of ancient being, presence. It's in the walls. It's in the atmosphere. And so, being here, our wisest self invites us into a room here. So let's go into the room and see what's in the room. So we go into the room. I invite you to go into the room. That's what you want to do. And in the room, we'll see what it is we need to see. The wisest self lets us be. So I just leave you there in this room for the time that you need. we see in this room. I wonder what we saw. And after a time, when we're ready, again, the wiser self returns, just waiting patiently to take what we have have seen or experienced, experiencing from this room. And they lead us to out of the room into the atrium again and up another level, up some stairs or a rope ladder or whatever it is to the next level above. And here is another room they lead us to. This time it's a different room than before. I'm not sure what it looks like for you. And they lead us into this room. And what does this room feel like? And what happens when they leave you in this room? What do you see? What do you experience? What's happening? There's something precious in here. It's time, though, the wiser self returns, waiting patiently, taking time so that we can absorb what's been in this room, what was experienced, something touching. Sometimes we don't want to leave that place. It's time to move on to the last room. They take you out, take you up higher and higher into the temple. To the last room. And leave you there. And what is in this room? Find here. It's in the last room. Mhm. It's very interesting. So, taking time, the wisest self returns again, giving time to process. Maybe you feel like it's time to leave. When you're ready, you can walk down with them, down to the ground floor. Maybe give them a hug. Maybe they give you a hug. Of course, this is us anyway. And it's time to farewell, though. Say goodbye, knowing we can always return, that this is us anyway. Sometimes we just need a special way to find our way back. Maybe we don't. It's time to leave and bid farewell, taking the experiences of this time and walk back along the path, taking what we took from this place, sitting in its spaciousness, going back on the path to our beautiful nature area, this place that we love and adore, and knowing that it's just about time to come back into the physical. Damn it. Bringing everything we have gained or lost, maybe we've lost, back into the physical. So let's come back into the present just gently. Maybe moving the hands a little, maybe having a little stretch. Breath, a refreshing breath. How was that? So, do you want to know that I had like there was a theme to each of the rooms? Would you like to know that? Um, so the first room, the question that was there was, "What is your true nature?" The second room was, "How does your true nature relate to world peace?" And then the third was, "What can I do to bring out my true nature at this time in my life?" I don't know if that relates to anything you saw.
Well, I can make it make sense.
Maybe it helps. I don't know. Oh, wow. Um, oh, that's so cool. Um, I'd be interested to know, like, just, as we come towards the end, like what's been like our experiences with, um, you know, with cultivating this groundedness, this like this lower, this earth energy, you know, is it important, you think?
I think it is. I think that this practice has helped me be a lot less angry of a person. And
Mm.
when I do have anger, being able to process it in a more peaceful way.
Mm. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, totally. I think like I definitely have similar experiences, I guess, like um I guess this kind of practice has helped me um have more space for my like my parents. Um
Mm.
and that's been such a yeah, it's been such a gift. Yeah, to be to be able to not react so much. Yeah, it's so powerful. And Carrie, you've been doing this for years, so
Yeah, but I mean, I think, really working with the Hara more specifically for the last 4 or 5 years. So it's interesting to explore. And I always feel like it kind of helps me connect more to my, subconscious, unconscious self.
mm,
Um, I love how you kind of anchored it with, connecting to the ancestors as the source of life. And um, recently, did this webinar on the history of the chakras, and one of the interesting things that came up out of that research is that the solar plexus, like from the diaphragm to the navel, there's never been a classical place of any chakra, just a kind of
mm,
Western one. But the actual place of the solar plexus chakra or Manipura chakra is the navel itself, and that the sacral chakra is actually like the base of like origin is the base like right behind the pubic bone. So there's this like deeper connection, I think, and so that really always resonates. And I think in the first room I just kept coming into these memories, and one of the memories was when I was just have found out I was pregnant with my daughter Sky, and I had my son Jai, and so he must have been like 10 months old or something like that. And so he was really young, but I remember going like on a run, and I knew it was going to be one of the last few times I could run because at a certain point in the pregnancies you can't, but or I couldn't at least. And the memory was just of like a blueberry. It's a little
oh,
blueberry in my uterus, and it was with my daughter, and we were
oh,
running together, and I don't know why that kept coming up, but it was just like this connection to just really foundational moments in our life, where um, you know, and for my daughter, I mean, just that like how I don't know, sacred and small life is, but from that seed, so much will arrive, and has arrived. So yeah, the sacredness, I think that piece of the hara is really just so striking and profound, and always takes me to this place where, yeah, it's spirit, but it's life too. Life.
I really feel that in what you're saying. Yeah, I can't even put that into words. Yeah, yeah, wow. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's always that it never gets dull. It never dulls. It's like whenever you do the practice, it's life again. It's like, wow, shit, life. It's, no matter how, like, what age or whatever, whatever's been happening. Um, set like that renewal of awareness, something, yeah. Mm.
So thank you so much. That was just gorgeous.
It was a pleasure. We've got a few more minutes, and I think we've done this before, Carrie, but I'd like to. I mean, I'd offer to do one more short practice if you want to, because we all have such a gift. I think we have some gift for the world. I'm sure you're not alone in thinking that. Can I ask Christiane, would you, can I ask you a question? Would you like to? So, okay. So, am I pronouncing your name properly? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, great, because I mispronounced the first time. Okay. Christiane,
Yes.
Christiane, what is the wisest thing that you know?
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want. You can have
That
some
might take
time.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That might
Right.
take some thinking.
You have a moment, and I'll ask Carrie. Carrie,
Mm.
what is the wisest thing that you know?
I, you know, I love wisdom, and when you feel it, you know it. So there's just something that popped into my head. Um, but just that love is real. And I don't know if that's the wisest thing I know, but that's what I was feeling.
Love is real. Yeah. It can be like an abstract thing sometimes, can't it? The way we talk about it, but it's really real.
So.
It's isn't it? Wow. Yeah. And what does it look like to you? So many things, I guess. Like,
Yeah. Well, I guess when you talked about the nature of the different rooms, the first one, I forgot how you described it, but it was your true nature, right? Who you are. And so when I was in that room, I just kept seeing a practice actually that I did a long time ago around an attunement to love. I think it was like attuning to love. So I guess that's where it comes to me in memories. Um, but just to, I guess, as I'm sensing that, it's just that there's this force of love that's alive and breathing. And like sometimes it's really easy to forget that that's happening for us. And I've been going through a lot lately and like in a really like time in my life where things are changing like really intensely. And I guess maybe we could all reflect on those times in our life where like you met the right people or something shifted and like you started making choices and decisions that really impacted like where you're going in life. And I'm kind of in that right now. But like life is it's just like I don't know. I kind of thought life was going to be this way, but it's going to be maybe a little bit different. And I actually have to remember like that process is ongoing. Like it's going to keep going. And like I remember when, I'm kind of blabbering now, but when I first met my like college roommate, like it was this whole random thing, and then we became roommates, and we were like the best of friends, and she's still one of my best friends. And it's like but there was a feeling of that in that moment. So and just that so that sense that love is real, and um to know when we're really being touched by it and gifted by it, and that love is happening for us, and to surrender to it, to be in that, allow
Yeah.
the change that wants to happen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really feel that substance of that. Yeah. It can be, I think it's such a great, I think it's really humbling, I think, to see that when things are difficult, like to see that it's like, oh shit, actually, it's not what I thought, but it's actually, wow, yeah. Mm. Probably.
I have a letter from my father that is one of the wisest things I think I know. If I may share it with you, it's not too long.
Yeah.
He wrote it to me a very long time ago, but it still feels true. And I think that the timing is good for what Carrie just said as well. Life has a way of taking the thoughtful person on a surprising serpentine path of experience that may not at first reveal its eventual destination. And for those who are not thoughtful, the road may be a series of tumultuous, raging cataracts, wildly flinging them from one terrifying experience to another. Whatever you may think, however, the universe has a plan for you. It does require your participation. And if you are to be happy, it requires a willingness to face the persistent challenges with a fierce determination to be truthful to yourself. Truth is, in fact, the purpose of the journey, not riches, fame, beauty, or great physical strength. It is not important that you decide what you will do for the rest of your life right now in this moment. The spirit of life will show you this in due time, if you are but willing to know.
Holy shit. Wow.
Incredible. Wow. What wisdom. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah. I feel like that succinctly wraps it up pretty well in a way that I wouldn't easily be able to put into words.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's such a gift.
Where'd she go?
Wow, the way that he articulated it. Oof. Isn't that the beauty of it? It's like it's in our world in so many wow, but and it I can't even put words to it. It's all just there. Just pull back the covers and it's like, fuck. Look at that. Excuse my language. Oh, wow. That's so beautiful. So touching. Thank you. Yeah. Mm. Um, I don't want to like I was sort of just pass time as well, but like I don't want to I don't want to actually do anything after that. It's so beautiful, but I don't want to be like, oh, I'm asking all the questions. Does anybody want to ask me? Because I'm just in this
Yes,
group as well.
the wisest thing that you know.
Yeah, okay.
Sally, share your wisdom with us, please.
I gotta, I can't really, yeah. Yeah, so I think you know what it is. I always have an answer to this, and And I'm like, oh, I wish I had a different answer. So this time I've got a different answer. It's really good. So, you know what it is? It's to have the courage. It's to have the, it's take a risk and take a risk. That's what it is. To just bloody well ask these questions, to give space to this, because it's just right there and it just wants, it's like a, sometimes it's like a fork in the road, or it's like one of those moments in life where, it's a point in the river where these times when we ask, we just step out of all of the stuff of life and just go, hey, what is this? Together, when we do that together, oh, we get this sort of stuff. Look at this. Holy shit. Wow, it's so beautiful. But it's uncomfortable sometimes because we're not always in a space where it feels safe to ask. But fuck it, right? Because this is life, so let's find a way. I don't know if that was succinct enough, but yeah, maybe it's just to take the risk to get to ask that questions that we know we want to ask, that maybe should be asked. There you go. That's the best I can do.
Thank you, Sally.
So beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much for this. This has been so beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Carrie, for inviting me, and thanks, Christy Arrow, for yeah, for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for leading us in a really, really beautiful meditation. I very much appreciated it. So
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
feel the same way. So like
it
it
was
just
a cherry on
so
top
nice.
of an awesome day.
That's cool. Awesome.
Well, Sally, tell everybody who's watching how they can get a hold of you if they want to share any insights that came up for them
Yeah, yeah.
doing this meditation.
Yeah, cool. No, that sounds great. I mean, maybe it would be good to reach out via the Reiki Healing Society Facebook group to share any insights. That might be nice. But yeah, also you could just contact me directly via Facebook Messenger if you want to. Um,
Okay.
and you can check out my website if you want. That's in a state of flux, but that's wildspiritwoman.com. Yeah. And you can jump on my YouTube channel, which is also a little bit behind at the moment, but that's okay. uh, and that's Free a Wild Heart YouTube channel. Yeah, cool.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, wonderful. Well, no, thank you. And yes, so thank you all for joining us for this Reiki Healing Circle. This is a unique practice, but I'd love to have more guests on this, the Reiki Healing Circle. And I really want it to be a place where people like yourself can share a beautiful practice with us and really celebrate that we all have just this beautiful way of being in relationship with Reiki and guiding other people into their own practice. So, I've been leading most of the circles, but it's really not the vision that I have to be doing all of them, that it will really be more of this collective community space. So if that ever calls to you, please feel free to reach out to me and we can schedule a time for you to lead your own circle. That'd be fantastic. And also to say that leading a healing circle is also part of the GoPro with Reiki mentorship program. So I have some seeds of that like coming into fruition, and so you'll be hearing more about the GoPro with Reiki program soon. But Sally has been a part of it, and
And it's
so
awesome. It's awesome. It's really good.
okay. Um, you know, and that would be just a great way for you to, start to think about how you lead a practice like this. And as a Reiki practitioner, if that's something that you feel really called to, it's great to have some practices, and it's great to lead people because it doesn't really matter how experienced we are or inexperienced we are in our Reiki journey. It's we can always benefit from practices such as these. Um, so, um, well, thank you all again so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. So many blessings. Bye bye for now. Mwah.